Hey guys, welcome back to the AT Customs video. Today we'll be looking at the work in progress for my legs over here. These are the thigh armor that I've extended. What I've done is I add in three 0.5 millimeters pla-plate onto this thigh over here to extend the thigh armor. Alright, and also this custom leg over here, which I will just talk about it later on the video. Okay, I won't be make a video. I didn't include the thigh extension part of the video, as I already done extension on the waist, and it's actually exactly the same process. So that's about it. Let's start the video. Okay guys, so this is how the part looks like after it's primed, and I would say I'm pretty happy with the finish. It is actually pretty smooth, actually better than what I expect from it. Alright, so this is actually the third layer of primer. Basically what I do is that after I trim everything, sand it down, I will just prime it first and then look for defects, and then from there you just sand it down and then you get it right. So as for example here, let's just see. Yeah, can you see this part over here? Yeah, that is slightly dirt, like not so clean. You guys can see. So normally what I do is that I just try to scrub them out and maybe go on with one piece of sandpaper, a small piece of sandpaper, try to smoothen that part out. But I think it should be good. It's a very minor defect, I would say, but the rest of it looks pretty good. I think this, I don't need to add any more things to it. Seam lines also, as you can see, it's covered perfectly fine. So yeah, this is done. But how about the other one? So the other one, this is actually the first layer that I've done. So as you guys can see, let me try to focus. Alright, as you guys can see here, there is this hole over here. There's a dot here, a lot of small minor holes everywhere, right? So all you gotta do is you need to fill up all this hole and then you sand it down. And as for here, is the same. It is actually not even. Not sure if you guys can see. Let me try to get it closer. Nah, you guys can see, but just trust me. Yeah, you can see from the light, it is actually not a very even surface. So from here I need to add in more putty and sand it down. So yeah, it's actually very good for you guys to prime your kit and make this kind of inspection, because with primer you guys can see all this defect. Okay, so let's start filling up all these holes. Okay, so for the holes, what I do is actually I use this piece of whatever, like a cardboard or something that you're not using, and then I'll use a baby powder. Right, someone out there teach me this method, so I don't take credit for this. So all you gotta do is just dump baby powder. It will help if you guys turn off the fan too, but no, I think it's okay. Okay, so of course it's better to have more than this, but this is just an example to you guys. Then I use a super glue. As you guys can see, the super glue does not mix well with this what is called baby powder. So get something sharp, small, try to mix them in together. Of course, you guys can use a Tamiya putty. if you guys have it, but as for me, I don't have it, and I find that it is very hard to use, so I prefer to use this method. Alright, so I've run out of the what's it called, powder, so I just add in more powder. Yeah, I think this should be enough. Yes. Alright, so as you guys can see, what actually happened to the powder and super glue mixture, it becomes like a paste, right? So what I'm going to do is use this paste and use it as a putty onto the product itself. Right, so dab it over here. Trace in. Dab a little bit more. I think you guys get the point. So okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this part last. I'll just make sure I fill up all the other parts. This side here. What I'm worried is basically the hole is maybe too small for this paste to go in. So that is one of my, I would say, worries. Okay, so I think most of the part, just inspect. Yeah, there's actually a lot of defects around here, so I think we just dab it as much as possible. Alright, so once you've done with there, you need to tackle with this part over here, right? So take more and dump it on. Okay, there's a little bit defect here. There is like some issues here. I think it's perfectly fine, I guess. So um, once you've done it, just use some kind of clip it up and let it dry. Okay, then just see when it's done. Okay guys, so this is the next part that I want to modify. As you can see, I've already modified this part over here. I'm using a what is called the perfect grade frame. There's a spare runner for the strike, what is called this side thing. So I've actually used that part, and then I chop off the original part. But if you want to chop off the original part, you need to be careful. I'll just show you why. So this is basically the inner frame part, and then if, let's say example, if you want to chop off this part over here, as you can see, there is this part over here which is articulated, and then it is connected to a peg which is right underneath this part over here. So what I do is that instead of just cutting this part out, following this line over here, this square shape, I need to just cut it straight off. So basically I just have to cut off this peg and don't use this peg anymore, and just cut it straight. So, and then this part over here, all I do is that I drill a lot of holes by using my Dremel over here. I'm using this Dremel to just drill up holes over here, and then I can just pluck it out. Alright, and also inside there is actually a lot of what is it called? A lot of pegs, right? So you need to chop across this one over here and this one over here. So this is how the part looks like once it's chopped off. As you can see, it's actually cleaned. This part all is clean chopped except for this part over here. I tried to chop this, but my blade could not get too deep, so so I just need to use it by force and pluck it out, right? And then once it's done, it looks like this. So what do you guys think? I think it looks quite good. It has the details, but then it will make the other part of the armor looks kind of dull. But then again, I'll just leave it as it is first before I add in more details, because I do not know how the outer armor thing looks like yet. So we'll just see later. And then for the next part, we'll be looking at this thing over here, which is the legs. And as you can see, the legs is very basic and very ugly, right? So, and actually this leg is actually pretty special. This is the leg, which I actually dismantled already. So this thing over here, as you can see, is actually off center. So I actually just realized this. So I think it's actually mainly for like this kind of like side posing, to make it looks more dynamic, I guess. So this is good, but I have one issue is that I feel that this shape is ugly. I think it's supposed to be longer, and I think it's supposed to be sharper. It's not supposed to be this round. So I'm still thinking if I should just use this, or I should just use pla-plate and then I rebuild this part over here from scratch, and maybe use back this one for the bottom. This is one of my ideas. Or I could just use back this and shave off this part over here and make it more streamlined. This is actually one of my ideas. I mean, something that is in my mind. So we'll see how. Okay. As you can see from the front here, the shape, the non-grade one is actually wider than the perfect grade one. The top, you can see that it is very much different. Yes, of course the details are a lot of different, but the shape, overall shape, is very far off. Even the back of it, as you can see, the back of it is actually slimmer, and there is like a two-part instead of this what is called this non-grade one. It is that one big blob of something. So I'm going to try to replicate the design onto this non-grade one. Okay guys, so basically I'm going to make these legs into this perfect grade size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper, put this feet on top of this paper, and then get a pencil and just sketch out the outline of the feet. Don't have to be super precise, but I want it to be similar in size, but I'm going to make some adjustment later. Okay, alright, so I have a template for the legs over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sketch out the shape that I want. So strike leg, I think it's supposed to be like this and like this. So this is for the back leg, and then the front will be straight turn out like this. Oops. My hand. Okay, so I'm going to extend my leg slightly longer than the original one. Okay, so basically this is what I want my leg to be, and I think I need to dismantle this leg first. I think I want to use back this gray part under the foot, like so. Let's just try. I think it's hard to take this part out. Oh, come on. Bring another one. Oh, this is the other bit. Whoops. Okay. That's great. Broken this leg, but it's fine. Alright, so as you can see, the shape is, I would say the height of it is similar, but the overall shape is different. So I'm going to maintain using back this gray part, but I'm going to trim it to follow this shape over here, right? And then this part over here, most of the part I'll be discarding, and maybe I'll be using the middle part. So I'm thinking of cutting it off this way and just keeping the middle part here, and then the rest of it I'll be making it from scratch from pla-plate. And I'll be relying on these pegs over here, these two pegs and this two peg here, since I've already broken off these two pegs at the back, right? So let's try. Nope, doesn't seem to be able to bring this off. Okay, so basically that's about it. And so let's start cutting this thing up. Okay. Alright, so to be honest, I actually wanted to make this whole bottom part a scratch build, but then I'm actually worried because this kit is quite big and huge, so I'm afraid that the part that I do customized part might be too weak to hold up the weight of the 160 scale Gunpla. So That is why I think I should just use back the original one and do some modifications without how to say, without affecting the strength of the whole structure of the leg, because the leg is very important. It's the part that holds up the whole entire Gunpla, I would say. So I think actually I should use a ruler. I'm just way too lazy now. Okay. So basically this is gonna be the base shape for it. This is a base shape for the leg, based on a perfect grade strike, I think, perfect grade frame. So I think the shape should be good enough. Let's just take this thing and then we align it up and we can see where we actually need to cut. Right, so as you can see, there are quite a lot of cutting, and the good news is that all of this pack area I can actually keep. I don't have to chop off those parts, right? So what we're gonna do is flip it to the back, align this up, and maybe we need to trim this part a little bit differently than my initial design, mainly because, as you can see, the what's it called, the line for the back of it is actually over here. So for me to make a new line, I need to chop this off and extend it to the back, which will cause some strength issues. So maybe I'm gonna just put this thing right here like this. So the front rib should be longer, which I'll be adding on pla-plate later on. But for the rest of it, I think I can just follow back this shape. So I'll be removing this part over here, and yeah, I think that's about it. So let's just get started and sketch out this shape. If you guys have a colored marker pen, I think it would be better than pencil. And the way I look at it, I think there is not much things for me to trim compared to what I thought it would be. Of course, you guys could be more accurate than me, but as you know me, I'm quite lazy, so the way I do things is slightly sketchy than usual. Okay, so take this off, and from the light you guys can see the line where I should cut off, right? And then this template I'll still be keeping to use it for later. Okay, so what I'm going to do is align the lines. Okay, get the line straight, and then use a blade. Why is this blade going up? Okay, just use a blade and make a line on this part that I want to cut off. Okay, so there is one line. You don't really need a sharp blade for this yet, so you can just go on a few times, get the groove in, and you have the line, right? I think, yeah, you can see the line very prominently. Alright, then next is gonna be this part here, which is the back. So how do I do it? Yeah. Here. Oops. Just take your time, don't rush it. Okay, that line is done, and then the second line is going to be here, which I think I could be able to freehand it. Okay, done. So freehanding is not really a easy thing. To be honest, I'm very suck at doing it, so just be careful if you guys gonna do that. And then here is another dot, and then to be safe, use a ruler. Of course, might not be super precise. I think if you guys take more time doing it, you guys could be able to make something better than me. But as for me, I actually like doing things this way. It's not too stressful. I don't like to measure things, keep measuring and measuring. So I actually like this kind of feel, which I could just do whatever how I want. Okay, straight up, and then this part over here to this part over here. So line it up and just make a line. Okay, done. Then the back. For the back, I try to make it as straight as possible. So I'm going to just align by looking at these two holes at the back. So just make a line all across it. Go on lightly with the blade and slowly use more force and more force. Do not go in all the way with full force, okay? So that way you guys can have a straight line at the top here. Of course, it's very tempting for me to just use this and snap it up, but I don't advise it. It's very risky. So next, we're gonna just use the scriber and just keep scribing until the part comes up. Okay, so we're gonna do this off on camera. Okay guys, so here as you can see, I've completed building the legs and the custom feet has already been done. So I think what you guys think about the feet. I'll just do one leg first just for testing purposes. And as you can see, the height of the feet is actually exactly the same because I'm still using this same part behind, I mean inside for this part, right? So other than that, the outer layer is actually built by pla-plate. So what you guys think? And then I've really extended the thighs, so this is actually how the kit looks like with the extended thigh, and it is actually as tall as the X-ray rate frame perfect grade. So I think I've already achieved the height of the kit and the proportions of the kit. So now the most important thing is the design of the overall thing. Okay, as you can see, this front part of this leg over here, I'm actually using this what is it called, the upper part of this leg part as the front part. So in the initial stage when I put all this part together, and I think that it looks very good before I paint it. After I paint it, and then I realized that it looks really crappy, so I kind of regret doing this. And I think I just show you guys a closer view. Okay, so this is actually how the legs looks like in a closer view. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really like the look of it. So I've actually regretted doing this, and I've actually cut corners a lot, because as you guys see my videos or my earlier videos, actually I do use like Photoshop, Illustrator and stuff on a computer and design it first, plan it out, and then only I execute it by doing the thing. But as for the legs over here, I thought I could just skip that step and just whatever comes to mind, whatever I've seen fit, and I just put it on. So this is what it happens. So it looks pretty crappy for my standard. So what I did is that I measure up the leg, how long the leg that I want it to be, and then I draw the legs onto this piece of paper over here, right? So this is actually how it looks like. I sketch it out by using pencil, and then I get some images online and sketch it out according to scale, right? So if let's say I were to put this onto the Gundam itself, you can see that the size is actually quite accurate. The size is actually quite accurate. So I'm going to just cut this thing out. As you can see here, I already put 4 times, means there is 2 times left and right on the right foot and left and right on the left foot. So there's 4 times of this. And then other than that, as you can see, this thing over here, I'm actually I also sketched out the side armor for the Duel Gundam Assault Shroud for the side here. Same concept, measure this thing, let's say this height, and as you can see on top of this kit, it will look this long. So what I do is that actually I just have to draw out according to what I want the thing to be. So at least I got the template for it, the bottom part. For example, as for this, I could just cut out this shape and then make a pla-plate out of this shape, and then I just add on parts on top of it to get this effect, right? Is it easy? And then same goes to the side over here. This is actually the front part of this here, the knee armor here, which is I think supposed to be from here to here, which is this part. This part here will be here to here, and then this part over here is going to be the bottom part that covers up slightly a bit of the legs, right? So, and then this is the front part of this part. So all of this I just have to plan out, and then I measure out according to actual scale. And then this part over here I just do randomly, because this part is supposed to be on top of this, but this one is supposed to be slightly slanted to the inner and outer slightly, so it's hard for me to draw it now. Therefore I just do a square box and I just trim it later on. Okay, so this is going to be the end of my first part of the leg build, which I finally completed the thigh armor and the somewhat cutting of the legs, get a concept. So I'm going to just end the video over here for legs part 1. I'm going to do another video for the legs part 2 once I start up the project of doing this, since my pla-plate just arrived today. Okay guys, so this is the end of the video. Please let me know down in the comments below if you guys like this build or not, especially the legs. What do you guys think about the legs? To be honest, I actually like the way the thigh looks. Most of the seam lines and then the extension part, everything seems to be smooth and perfect, which is a plus point. But for the legs over here, to be honest with you, I hate the way it looks. So and also just to let you guys know, I actually spent 2 whole days on just making this leg over here, and I've actually wasted my time. So learn from my mistake. Do not waste your time by doing this. It is better for you guys to plan it out, sketch it out, and get the idea first before doing this. Since I've already done this, I need to tear this whole thing down and then sand it down again, clean it up, and then rebuild a new structure on top of it. So it's going to take more time instead of less time, since I shouldn't be lazy. on doing this. Okay, so learn from my mistake. Alright, so please leave me a like and subscribe. Maybe introduce this channel to your friends. I'm just going to continue doing up more videos like this, and the next video I'm going to do is going to be the part 2 of the leg build, which is going to be including all of this side panel, front panel, and then the feet. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care guys, see you next time.
Nice.